Howdy.
Hiya.
Well, good morning. It's John Neal here, and it is Wednesday the 8th of October 2025. There's so many people down here. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, out for another bike ride. One or two things to pin to the back of this. So I'll tell you a bit more about that after the introduction. Roll video. I mean, look at those colours coming through. Super lovely. Right, one or two things I'm going to be doing today on this ride. One is I'm going to be looking at tunnels of trees. I've noticed there's one or two places, and I'm going a slightly different route through Cadeby onto Market Bosworth, because I know there's a particularly good tunnel of trees, and there's one back there that I've just been through as well. So I'm looking at tunnels of trees, and just for the fun of it, I'm going to give them a mark. So if it's a complete tunnel where the trees are touching overhead, and it's darker really, it cuts out some of the daylight, you feel you're like going into a bit of a cave, that's 10 out of 10. If the trees just about touch, and that's the best they can do, just one or two trees touching, that'll be 1 out of 10. So anything between the 1 and 10, you have to take my judgment on it. In fact, even here, approaching Stoke Golding, as you can see, the trees are touching, but it's not going dark. And no, they're not. Well, those are touching there. Yeah, well done. That'll do. Okay. And I'm also going to do a short commentary on the E28.9 bike, because I've done a few things, took the back wheel out. A few things to say about that. It says the road's closed, but I can get through. I'm on a bike. I almost said the rules don't matter to me, but that's not true. So let's press on and head over through Sutton Cheney on towards Cadeby and then Market Bosworth. Gosh, they're getting on with these houses. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hiya. The road's certainly close to traffic, but not bikes.
And on the road from Cadeby to Market Bosworth, we have, I'll call it the Cadeby Tunnel. A lovely covering of trees on this road. I'll give it 7 out of 10. And then on to Market Bosworth Park, and who doesn't like a bit of gravelly noise underneath the tyres? Enjoy.
Well, I've made my way. It's been 10 miles so far into the trip from home into Market Bosworth Park, Country Park. It's a beautiful place. Been here often. I've filmed here often, but you know, it's always worth coming back. Sure, certainly is. And today I've just got to come and have another look at the American red oak, and here it is. It's all its glory.
Time to move on and make my way over to the pond to have a look at some of the birds, and going past a big horse chestnut tree with loads of conkers on the ground. Just so many, look at them. I love them. So then I make my way into the middle of Market Bosworth and procure a cup of coffee and a little chat with somebody, and then time to move on again.
Oh, you've got very good hearing, madam. Thank you. Ta.
And now it's time to head home, and here we are on the gated road going from Market Bosworth to Sutton Sheeney. A beautiful, beautiful lane. Absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Is this another tunnel of trees? Just about. I'll give it 5 out of 10.
Well, nice quiet lane when no traffic, then suddenly a great big lorry comes by delivering stuff to the farm. Well, we're at the gated road now, which yeah, it's going to be good fun going over the edit of some of the tunnels of trees, because there is a bit of one here, but it's not a solid tree canopy going over the road, so I'll probably give it, but they're beautiful trees. I mean, look at this fella, absolutely fantastic. In fact, one day I might do a survey of the trees along this road alone and measure how big they all are. There's one over there, superb oak tree, and they're all going beautiful colours as well. And the sun started to come out as well at long last, so it's been a nice day. One other thing I've got to say before I stop and finish this video, I had another playlist called Question of Faith. So if you've no interest in this about the question of faith, just skip through about a minute and move on to the next bit. Question of faith. I saw a chap in England who'd quite openly talked about his own faith and the church he was going to and what he thought about it, and it was very much a conversational thing, which was very good, asking the questions and responses back. So I thought, yeah, I've started to do that with this playlist, and I might try and next to have conversations with people, so it's not just me talking to camera, it's me talking with other people, not only of my own faith group as a Baha'i, but also of other faith groups, whether they're Christian or Muslim, or even atheists, just to dig about the big questions in life. I was just talking to a lady in town here, and she says people are not particularly interested, and I said, well, you know, one thing once you get to a particular age like me is that when you're in your 70s, and I'm going to a funeral in a couple of weeks' time, one thing that's always with us all is both taxes and death. And yeah, it's one of the issues about life and the mystery of death, which I think is worth having a closer look at. Right, so that's that minute up on Question of Faith playlist and or podcast. Right, last bit, and I should have to do some timestamps on this so you know where we are. I was looking at the Estarli E28.9. I've done over 1,000 miles on this bike since I had it in March, I think. So it's been absolutely superb. I've had a few issues with the chain. I bought some more chain links, and I went to the shop, to Halfords actually, and he says, I says, oh, it's 6 mil thick. He says, don't worry about any of that. He says, just tell me how many gears it's got. Well, this has got 9 on, so there is a certain width of chain. Let's see who this is. Somebody's just gone by. Yeah, so mine's 9 gears, so there's a certain width of the link. And I had others which were too small. In fact, I fitted one which was for 12, which is a narrower chain. And I actually fitted it, I don't know how or why, because it's about 0.5 mil too thin. Pulled it together and the link was just solid, it didn't bend at all. So it was obviously wrong, but I've got a set now, spares ready and waiting, of the right size. And I put one on, and the chain I've waxed a few weeks ago now. Absolutely super. It's not dirty, it's quite dry in a way, and the gears change perfectly with it, so waxing the chain for me is a bit of a winner at the moment. Right, the other thing I had to do the other day was in fact to take the back wheel out on the Estarli, and in order to do that you've got to disconnect the electrics from the battery and the controller to the motor in the back wheel. On the old bike that I had, it was just an open cable, and they've tidied it all up and they've hidden it inside the frame. To get inside the frame, you've got to look across through the back wheel to find a plastic cover on the entrance to the frame, and got 4 2mm screws with Allen key connectors, and you've got to reach through and undo each 4 of these tiny screws, which is a bit tedious. I was doing this at home with the bike up on a stand, and it was difficult. To do it at the side of the road, I would have thought was almost impossible. And you do that, then there was the electrical connector. You can undo it quite easily, quite nice, very clean and easy to do. And then you could then take the back wheel out and do whatever you had to do. I might have a puncher, for instance, might need to change the inner tube. You would have to take the whole wheel out. My issue was the kickstand was coming loose, so I bought some Loctite glue, if you will, that puts the screw tight in. There's red and blue. I put some blue on it, which is the lesser of the, it's not as strong as the red, to make sure that the kickstand doesn't keep coming loose, which again was difficult to get at because I was having to reach through the spokes from one side of the bike to the other to put an Allen key onto them to tighten them, and it was not always happening. So I managed finally to get the wheel out, which was not easy. I actually had to take the derailleur off altogether in order to get everything moving. Sometimes if the bike is upside down, you can drop the wheel back in and the gravity helps you, but in this case it was the wrong way around. Anyway, having done that, I did notice that the cable that I disconnected, which connects the front, the battery, controls to the motor in the back wheel, in the hub, it had been squashed. Not damaged, but it definitely been squashed. Once, I presume, it had been fitted together at Estarli, and it had been squashed up next to the kickstand. Now the kickstand is hidden away inside the frame to keep it out of the way, which is very neat, looks lovely. But I have to say that somebody had assembled the bike and pinched the cable from the front to the back, the electric cable, which is not good. So it is now free. It hasn't been damaged, it's still working okay, but if you've got one of these bikes, just double check that the cable from the front of the bike to the back is accessible through that panel, and that it is not kinked or squashed in any way, because mine was. And the cover for the access point in the back end of the frame there, I haven't screwed it back on with these tiny, why there are 4 of those screws, I don't know. Why there's just been 2 for a start. But maybe it's not neat, but I've put a couple of zip ties on to hold them in place. So that if by chance I'm in the wild outdoors, like here, and I had to take the back wheel out, it would be easier to do. Just got to snap those zip ties and you're away. Okay, that's it. I am going to make my way back. Got to get home, have a flu jab this afternoon. It's not the jab that's the point, it's the next day. I was previously, virtually had flu the next day, so under the weather the next day. So I'll get back home now and have plenty of video footage to deal with, and let's see if we can see some more tunnels, and I'll be able to do some voiceovers on them and give them a score out of 10, which is good fun. Listen, thanks for watching, everybody. I bump into people in town and say they watch the videos. Love to see those folk and thank them for watching. And if nothing more, as I've said before, it gets us out and about, and not everybody can get out. So I'm happy to do that. So let's get going and get home. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone, and you'll see me next time. Whee!
nice straight downhill. It's good fun. And hey, look, 26 miles an hour. Wow. There was a funeral being held at Shenton Church, and there were lots and lots of actually very, very nice cars all lined up along the road. I don't think they get everybody in the church, it's not that big. Anyway, condolences to anybody connected with the deceased.